Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, monthly clinical conversations where we bring hope and inspiration for growth and healing. We're here to change the dialogue and stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. It's okay to feel good. Everyone deserves to feel good, and so do you, and we're going to teach you how to do that. So happy May. Happy Nurses Week, really excited Nurses Week, and happy Mother's Day month. So Nurses Week 2024 is observed from May 6th to May 12th, honoring the immeasurable contributions of nurses globally. Wondering how to mark National Nurses Week? Engage in events such as these. Show your appreciation to nurses and endorse efforts that recognize their unwavering dedication to improve quality of life. Today, we have on an amazing nurse leader who wrote a guest blog for us in May and who is sharing her program, Meant for C.H.A.O.S, with us in a presentation. But before we get started on that, here's a little video about what we do in the cannabis space, and then we'll get right to it. And I'm going to pull that video up right here. And Partners in Health.
Change the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
Well, there you go. Growing in health, growing in cannabis. So excited to be here. The Green Nurse Podcast Clinical Conversations webcast came about when Nurse Elizabeth and I merged our companies, Holistic Caring and the Green Nurse, alongside of Bloom Hemp, creating Holistic Caring Network. Clinical Conversations explores all aspects of how to optimize cannabis as medicine. People are making great medicines. People are selling these amazing plant formulations, yet no one is truly interpreting how to use cannabis as medicine. And that is what we do in this space. So today's show, I got another little commercial here. I got to plug. Katie's got the shirt on to plug, so I'm just going to pull up the slide to plug, right? So today's show is brought to you by Bloom Hemp. Bloom Hemp is a woman and nurse-owned national hemp CBD supplier, leading with quality, safety, value, and patient-centered care. Bloom Hemp products are USDA organic CBD grown in the mountains of Colorado and tested for purity, potency, cannabinoid, and terpene profiles. Bloom Hemp is proud to offer a free nurse line, 970-404-HOPE, to answer questions and explain how and why CBD works in the body. And if you use Green Nurse, you will get 10% off, but we actually have a special that we're going to announce if you make it through the rest of this podcast with another coupon code. And with that, I am going to pass this off to Katie, who I am very, very excited, who is going to be presenting to us today on Meant for Chaos, which is a program that she's going to explain. And if you haven't read all about Katie, check the show notes down below. She is a rock star, and we're so excited to have her here today. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you, Sherry. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm excited to share with you what Meant for Chaos is all about. Did you have the slides? Did you want to show them as we go, or okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to chat with you on the Green Nurse podcast today. Meant for Chaos came about. I'll tell you a little bit about myself first, and then we'll go into how I work with clients. But who am I? What is my deal? What is my story? My name is Katie McCarthy. I am a nurse in Boston, Massachusetts. I am a lover of people and a lover of life. When I was younger, I was kind of one of those people that tried everything, every sport, every club, every hobby. I fell in love with some. I grew from the challenges of others. When I saw success, I continued doing it. When I saw failure, I would pivot and try something new. I just always said yes and tried and love new opportunity, right? My career path was similar. I thought I wanted to be a counselor, so I got a bachelor's degree in psychology from Bridgewater State University. Then I decided I wanted to be a nurse, so I earned an RN diploma and got my nursing license and found my dream job. Then I fell in love with baby photography after my first son was born, and I started a newborn photography business and found my real dream job, one of the many dream jobs. Then I started writing. I wanted to inspire others, and I created Meant for Chaos. So my point is, you can do hard things and you can be multi-passionate. Okay. I wear lots of different hats in my life. I think many of us do. You have family that you take care of. You have friends that you're there for. You have your career that you work hard for, all of the hats. As for relationships, for me, I hit the jackpot. I met my soulmate in 2006 on a blind date. I was 21. There is no better love story than ours. It's a definition of meant to be. So ask me about it sometime when we're not on a podcast. We got married. We had 2 babies. They're my reason for everything. They're not babies anymore. They're 14 and 12, but they are growing up to be amazing humans. My husband saw more heartache in his lifetime than any human should have to endure. And his Aunt Ellen saved him. And she became ill in 2019, and I tried to save her. And the growth from that experience saved me. Then we had the year 2020, the ultimate pause. And that's what brought us here today. That's when Meant for Chaos was born. The lesson chaos we're going to go through this slide deck, but essentially when she was ill, I started to learn ways to manage my own caretaker burnout. And I didn't know who I was wearing all of these hats, right? Like, when's the last time, Sherry, someone asked you, Sherry, tell me about you. But don't tell me about your career.
Right.
That's a hard question to answer, right?
Well, it is. Well, here's, and I can totally identify with that, because I'll tell you what, when I got sick and found myself on the other side of the bed, I didn't know who I was if I wasn't doing what I was doing.
Right.
And so now I am a divine expression of creative love. That's my answer now.
I love that. And for me, if you had asked me at this time in 2019, if you had said to me, Katie, who are you? I would have said, I'm a mom, I'm a caretaker, I'm a nurse, I'm a photographer, I'm a business owner. But in none of those answers does it actually tell you who I am or what the best version of myself was, right? So I think that so many of us lose ourselves in titles, and that's what Meant for Chaos is all about. So the acronym CHAOS stands for 5 personal development habits that brought me to a place of peace and joy. And I always tell the story of almost like a numbness. The beach is my happy place. So I would go to the beach whenever I felt like I needed a break or needed to get away. We have a family beach house. It's only about a 25-minute ride from my house. So if I was having a day where the overwhelm was too much, I would just take a ride and go put my feet in the sand and ground myself. And I'll never forget, in the height of my angst, when I was in a really bad place, I went to the beach and I put my feet in the sand, and I couldn't smell the sea, and I couldn't feel that ocean air. And I was like too distracted by my thoughts to even hear the waves. Like it wasn't doing it for me. And I knew that I was in a dark place and that I needed to do something different. And that's when I started C.H.A.O.S. So C is clear your mind. And with clear your mind, this can be anything, taking 30 minutes out of your day to do something that helps you clear your mind. And for all of us, that can be very different, right? For me, going to the beach and putting my feet in the sand and just being there, that helps me clear my mind. Meditation helps me clear my mind. Yoga helps me clear my mind. Some people might go for a run. I'm not running unless someone's chasing me, but for you, that might be something that you like to do, right? Going for a run or exercising, moving your body. Some people like to read a book, listen to a podcast, whatever it is for you that helps you clear your mind. When I work with a client and we work through this C.H.A.O.S program, the first thing we do is identify a list of things that we love to do to clear our mind. The next thing that we like to do is we go through healing with hemp. And I often ask people, for me, hemp helped me connect my mind to my body. It allowed me the ability to get out of that fight or flight and into a place where I could slow down enough to meditate and to do yoga and to get to a place where I could connect my mind, body, and spirit. So I always ask people, are you open to learning about hemp? Are you interested in learning about it? And 99% of my clients are like, yes, but I know nothing. So that's when I give them my CBD crash course. And if you want to go to the next slide, Sherry, maybe go down to healing with hemp. I'm very, very, as a nurse and as a professional, I take working with my clients very seriously, and I only want the best for them. And that means the best in education and the best in product. And all of my education for cannabis came from holistic caring and the green nurse. I became a cannabis health coach back in 2021. I took a holistic caring program. I thought I knew a lot because I had been studying for over a year and dedicated every spare ounce of time that I had to learning about cannabis. But when I found holistic caring, I was mind blown about the depth of information that they had and the research and the all of the information was just unbelievable. And so I took this program. I learned even more than I had already been diving into, and it really became something that I passionately wanted to share with the world. And part of that for me in teaching people what cannabis is and what our endocannabinoid system is and how cannabis works, then I move a step forward and recommend products, right? But you can't just recommend any product because hemp is a mop crop. And when you plant it in the ground, it absorbs all kinds of nasty things from the soil. And so you need to know that you have clean soil. You need to know where your hemp comes from. You need to know who's formulating your hemp. And so one of the companies that I am so proud to be affiliated with is Bloom, who is sponsoring this podcast today. And that is because Bloom Hemp is nurse owned, as Sherry said. It is nurse and doctor formulated. It is very carefully thought out products that will help my clients who come to me preaching these ailments that I know I can support them with. And so with that being said, I'll give you just one quick example of a case study using Bloom Hemp. So this client came to work with me to go through our C.H.A.O.S program. It's a 12-week program. And each letter of the acronym we devote 2 weeks to. So when we get to the hemp, the first week is just a crash course, education. we don't start using any product in that first week, usually, unless they're already using product. But in that first week, we really just educate. And then I let them go do their thing, go do their own research, go look up all the things that I just taught you to validate whether or not you think it's a good choice for you. And I've never had a client not make the decision to move forward with me. But this client specifically was a 46-year-old high-achieving woman. She was a coach, a nurse, a clinical educator. She was kind of like wearing all of the hats. She was going through a divorce. She had a child who was experiencing intense anxiety, who was a teenager. So dealing with the angst of a teenager going through anxiety as a mom, it's something that you take on their feelings too, which only adds to your own anxiety. So she was having a lot to manage, a lot of emotion, and she had never used CBD products before. She only knew cannabis to be a psychoactive, impairing outlet. So she didn't understand the difference between cannabinoids and how to use them. And so when we got to the Heal with Hemp, her initial reaction was like, nope, don't want to go there. And I said, well, let me educate you a little bit. Let's talk through this. And so I gave her my education on what cannabis is, what our endocannabinoid system is, how using a daily dose of CBD can work almost like a vitamin for your endocannabinoid system and get those receptors, stimulated to help balance you out. And the first product she started with, her initial complaint was mostly sleep. Her mind was reeling at nighttime, anxious feelings, and just couldn't turn that off at night. So we started with a full spectrum citrus tincture 1 hour before bedtime. I like to start one product at a time, but I do piggyback products on top of each other. But when you have someone who's just starting out brand new, sometimes it's a good idea to just do one thing at a time so that they can journal and do kind of a self-inventory and check in. So she started with a full spectrum citrus tincture 1 hour before bed, half a dropper. She gradually increased. So after 3 to 5 days, she went up to a 1/4 of a dropper until she got up to a full dropper. After 1 week, she was only at a 0.75. She was having the best sleep of her life. And she was like, just could not believe how quickly she was falling asleep, and not only falling asleep, but staying asleep. Because one of her problems was she would wake up frequently. And that was, I always prepare my clients, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks for us to notice a benefit. So for her to notice something that quickly, it was like, she was stoked because it was working, but I think she was also going through some of the other steps of chaos that we'll get to that were helping her mind settle at nighttime. So it's important to just be realistic about your expectations when you're using cannabis products and CBD products, because there is a whole way to support your endocannabinoid system, and it's not necessarily just the supplement. So we did go over that when we caught up the next week. And so then she was talking about her morning and how she was trying to stop drinking coffee. And she wasn't able to stop drinking coffee because it was just part of her daily routine. And so I suggested, well, why don't you try one of our Bloom Energized gummies in the morning? So on top of your half dropper at nighttime, try the Energized gummy in the morning, because that'll give you your dose of CBD, but also kind of get your energy going for the day. So she started doing that, and again, loved it. She was finding herself to be more focused at work. Little things that would normally cause her some agitation were just like, she was kind of just going with the flow and letting things roll off her back, which actually was making her a better educator because she wasn't getting so stirred up about small things at work. And then she started working out. So ultimately, as we were working together, she started creating boundaries and making room for her morning self-care routine. So she was waking up an hour earlier so that she could go through her C.H.A.O.S routine every day. And that allowed her to have an extra 30 minutes to start a gym routine. And so she was doing 20-minute workouts when she first started. And these 20-minute workouts, she was experiencing some intense, muscle soreness because she hadn't worked out in a long time. So one of the last products that we added into her regimen was a Bloom muscle joint therapy cream. And that was something that she would go do her workout, she'd take a quick shower, she'd slather that on, and she felt like $1 million. So this was just one example of many clients that I've worked with. We can go down if you want to just go to the full spectrum CBD slide.
Yes.
These are some of my favorite products that I'll recommend based on what my client is struggling with. Again, I always like to start with a full or broad spectrum, either in the morning or at night. I always talk to people about how consistency is key. So it's not always, it doesn't really matter what time of day you're taking it, as long as you're being consistent with it. So if you're someone who's going to remember to take it every night as part of your bedtime routine, then you're going to take it at night. If you're someone who's going to remember to take it every morning when you're getting up and starting your day, then we're going to work through a product that will help in the morning. So, and then we piggyback based on different things. If someone's struggling with pain, I might add on a recovery tincture. If somebody's having a really hard time with anxiety and like maybe the full spectrum's helping them sleep better, but then during the day they're looking for something to like get them through their day, we might use a calming tincture. If you're someone has poor gut health and you want to support your microbiome, we might also add in a digestive tincture. So all of these products, the thing I love about them is that they're not just CBD. They're all kinds of other botanicals that target and help support all different kinds of wellness needs. So that's something that really makes me proud to represent and support Bloom when I'm working with clients. And then the next slide just shows you some of the topical products that I love that I mentioned. That active care cream that my client was using post-workouts. Oh, sorry, actually, she used the muscle joint, but I've been using active care cream for an active shoulder injury that I'm experiencing, and it's been a godsend. So morning roll-ons to help get your energy going, evening roll-ons. I mean, the sky's the limit with the number of different products that we have that I can share with clients. So again, just a few things that I mentioned that make Bloom stand out and why I'm proud to represent with my clients is that they're USDA organic hemp, which is so important. It matters where your hemp comes from. You need that soil to be clean. It has those symptom targeted formulas, so I can really pinpoint certain issues that my clients want to work through. They have the free nurse line. So if my clients have a hard time, I'm a busy lady. You saw how many hats I wear. So if my clients have a hard time getting in touch with me and they have a quick question, they can call the Bloom Hemp Nurse Line and they'll be able to get an answer to their question. I'm always there to support them, and I do weekly meetings with them, but if I am not available, they have that extra line of support, which I think is really beneficial. Free care plan. So your care plan is something that you fill in your information when you're shopping, and we will give you a recommendation specific to what you're looking for support with.
And it's going to pipe in that there's all nurses. So we have Denise will do your care plan. The nurse that's working with us, you could put in Katie.
Yep.
So Katie, if you fill out the intake form and you say, I found you through Katie, then we will send Katie the intake form and Katie will do your care plan. So we're working, Nurse Denise has Energized Living. And so she's same thing. When someone fills out the intake form for her, they say, oh, Denise recommended, so Denise will do the care plan. So you can recommend, you can ask for the nurse that recommended you to Bloom Hemp to do your care plan, and she will. That's what's beautiful.
Right, which is another reason why, like, a lot of my nurse colleagues who are moving from a place of, you know, that caretaker burnout, and they're looking for something that they can do on the side that might not be so demanding. Coaching clients is something that has been so incredible for my life. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. So if you're a nurse watching right now, you may want to consider just taking a look at our free network and seeing what we're all about, because joining the free network was initially where I kind of started getting to know all of the information. And then I just kept wanting to dive in and learn more and learn more. And now I'm able to share that and help so many other people. And it's a whole team. It's a whole system of nurses who just want better for the wellness of their clients. So there's affiliate opportunities, there's wholesale opportunities. It's a whole world of amazingness.
Yes, a whole world of support, right? So we want to educate and empower not only patients, but providers so that they can educate their clients and consumers that come to them with questions. And so we have a whole milieu, whole environment and network to do that and to support. So good job, Katie. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So then the next week, after we get our CBD regimen all under wraps and understood, we start talking about how in a world filled with challenges and uncertainties, it's crucial to acknowledge the impact that our thoughts have on our well-being, right? Mm-hmm. Our overall success really depends on how we talk to ourselves. I always try to tell people when I'm having like one of those episodes where the negative self-talk is reeling, like before coming on this podcast, and I'm like, doing all my things so I can shake off my nerves, and I have the negative self-talk that I'm trying to settle down back there. I always talk to myself like I would talk to my daughter.
Yes.
Talk to yourself how you would talk to a best friend. We say things to ourselves that our subconscious really has a powerful effect on our reality. And so if you're talking to yourself poorly, then it's going to be harder to reach your goals. So affirmations are really powerful tools that can help us kind of rewire our minds and cultivate a positive mindset. So we do some fun practices with affirmations, and I do these mirror rituals with my clients, and it's a really fun, that's a fun week. It's one of my favorites. So
I'm going to share too, one of my favorite tools for affirmations is called the alphabet affirmations. So it's really easy. And you can put on a little bit of music. I'll pick a song, right, that I like, that I can move to. And I just literally just kind of go through, I am what? I am awesome. I am adored. I am brave. I am courageous. I am cool. I am collect. I am daring. I am darling. And you go through the alphabet of all of these beautiful words and you embody them. And the I am that. I am. And you're grounding it into your body. I just got the chill saying that, right? You're grounding that into your body, and it's so powerful. And you can just feel even a shift, just a little bit of shift. You feel a little giddy, and you're releasing anandamide, right? That bliss. So how cool is that? Affirmations help release anandamide, right? It's a positive self-talk. This is just beautiful, Katie.
I love it. And so there's also an app that I love that I'll share with all of you. It's called I Am, and you just reminded me of it because it's such a great app. You can trigger it to send you affirmations throughout the day. So on my phone at 11:11 every day, an affirmation pops up. So no matter what I'm doing, when I touch my phone, there's an affirmation there for me for the day. And it really does reset your mindset. If you're having a bad morning and all of a sudden you look at your phone and you have that I am XYZ, it changes the whole afternoon for you. So, and then we talk about accountability. So affirmations and accountability, those are both A, because accountability matters. We like to create an accountability system. So for my clients who I'm working with, the S stands for setting boundaries, and part of accountability is making sure that you're setting boundaries to write down a clear and measurable goal. So for example, while I'm working with my client, I have them write down a clear and measurable goal. So this example is I'll wake up at 6 a.m. every day to do 30 minutes of self-care, choosing an activity from my personal development list, and then I'll track my progress and check in with the accountability partner. So for most of my clients, I act as their accountability partner through the 12-week program, but some people choose like their husband or a friend or someone that they want to check in with. But that accountability partner can be really, really beneficial for your success. And then we move on to O, and O is organize your thoughts, which I have all of my clients go out and buy themselves a new journal. I'm like, this is a gift to yourself for diving into this program. Go get a cool new journal and a nice new pen. There's nothing better than a new stationery and a pen. I do also have a digital journal that I allow my clients to use that I've created that they can print out and just use on paper. But I mean, honestly, who doesn't love to go shopping for a new journal? I have so many journals that I write in around my house. So I tell them, go get a planner, a journal, If you don't want to do that, pick up your cell phone. There's a note tab on your cell phone. It's so easy for us to feel overwhelmed by the constant stream of thoughts and ideas that we're constantly thinking about. And journaling provides an outlet to declutter our minds and to gain clarity through our thoughts and emotions. So part of the C.H.A.O.S routine is to sit down and have a journal prompt and write in your journal every morning. And I think that if you were to poll my clients and all of the people who have given me testimonials, you'll find that out of all of the steps that we do, this one has somewhat of the most impact. Like, they continue to journal because it gets them so in tune with things that they didn't even know were happening in their subconscious. Like, and just getting them in tune with themselves. How many of us, especially with their cannabis journey, how many of us, okay, so we start taking a daily dose of CBD and we're looking for this subtle change that we are looking for a benefit. We're looking to be less anxious. We're looking to sleep better. But we're so busy going through our day-to-day and taking care of everyone around us that we don't slow down and stop to feel the good. Oftentimes, we only feel the bad, and that's when we decide to make a change. But when you're feeling good, you don't stop to acknowledge that you're feeling good. Right. So when you sit down to journal and take that personal inventory and say, like, how am I feeling today? Let me reflect on, XYZ, whatever that journal prompt is. I have a whole list of journal prompts that I do with my clients. But when you actually sit down to get in touch with your thoughts and write about it, it really helps with that personal inventory. So it helps you get your mind decluttered. It helps with your cannabis journey because you're able to understand those subtle effects that maybe I'll never forget. One of the things when I started using CBD for my daughter, one of the things that I noticed because of my journaling practice was that she started going downstairs to get a glass of water without anyone needing to go with her. She had such intense anxiety that she was afraid of literally everything. And I was sitting in my bed one night and I was writing in my journal and I'm doing my personal inventory. And she's like, "Mom, I'm going down to get a drink of water. Do you want anything?" And I was like, whoa. Like, this child would never be she slept in our bed almost every night. She finally started sleeping in her own bed, but then to go to the first floor at night when nobody else was downstairs, that was like unheard of. And that was one of those times that I recognized, wow, this is really helping her. And I don't think I would have noticed that if I wasn't in the moment where I was taking that time to sit with myself and be still. I wouldn't have even acknowledged that that was something amazing that had come from her utilizing CBD. So anyways, organizing your thoughts, that is where we go next. And then the last one is S, setting boundaries. So making time for self-care, there's a lot of different boundaries. Time is the one that most of my clients struggle with. It's like, when do they find the time for themselves? But it's not only time, it's, if saying yes to something pushes your limits, you have to be able to say no.
Yes.
And I think that for a lot of us, we go through the motions of the day for a plethora of reasons. I mean, for me, it's always like just to get everything done, to check off my checklist. But it's like, what is the point of checking off the checklist if you're not happy at the end of the day?
Yes.
If your checklist doesn't make you feel fulfilled, then you need a new checklist, man. Like, right. And for so many of us, we don't know how to set boundaries for ourselves and make us the priority. And so when we work through the boundary setting, we go through 7 different types of boundaries. And we talk about how self-care isn't selfish, because we can't give to others. We can't be the best for others if we're not the best for ourselves. And you've heard the term a million times, you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's so true. You cannot pour when you're not pouring into yourself.
It's the same analogy with the flight, with the oxygen. You've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can give someone else. So heal yourself, heal others. right?
100%.
Powerful of example. That's amazing.
Yeah. So the next slide just kind of takes a look at an overview of what 12 weeks working with me looks like. So we go through the overview of the program, which we kind of just did on this podcast. Then we go through clearing your mind and what that looks like for you. On the third week, we go through a guided meditation. I'm also a Reiki master and I lead a lot of guided meditation groups. So I'll do a Zoom call and do a guided meditation with my clients on that week. Weeks 4 and 5 is when we do our Heal with Hemp lesson, and then we go over a care plan for that individual client. Week 6 is affirmations, and week 7 is accountability. Weeks 8 and 9 are organizing your thoughts. We create a journaling practice, and then week 9 we do a guided meditation where I also offer Reiki to my client. And then at the end of that, I have them do their journaling practice. And then after, they're open to discuss that journaling entry with me. And I can share with them a little bit about what I recognized in their energy. But if that's not something they're interested in sharing, that's okay. I always tell people you can take it home and burn it, or you can share it with me, whatever you need for yourself right now. And then weeks 10 and 11 are our boundary weeks where we talk about, really overcoming obstacles and building resilience. And then the last week is a celebration. We just kind of review, we share any lessons we've learned, any growth we've experienced. And then I give them all of my resources, all of my goodies that have gotten me to this place where I'm this version of myself that can help other people find the version of themselves that is the best. Nice. And that's meant for chaos.
Meant for chaos. So you can find Katie at Holistic Caring and the Green Nurse, and you can also find Katie at Bloom Hemp. So for those that are viewing, make sure you can pull up your phone and you can scan the computer if you're on your computer. If not, you can just go to holisticcaring.com and Bloom Hemp. And if you're filling out an intake form and you'd like Nurse Katie to do that, she would be happy to take care of you. We will make sure that she gets that intake form and follows up with you.
Absolutely.
And then this is a plug for Elizabeth. My business partner, Elizabeth, is in the other room, actually updating all of these amazing programs that Katie was talking about. So the Cannabis Nurse Health Coach program opens the medical door in America for nurses. So as you all know, last year, September 27th, 2023, the American Nurses Association, which represents 5 million nurses, just announced that cannabis nursing as a specialty. And so we have a comprehensive 30 continuing education curriculum for nurses and clinicians in a private network. There is licensing, business in a box for nurses to be holistic caring cannabis nurse health coach, monthly masterminds and nurse mentoring, which is live, case studies, monthly clinical conversations such as these. So this clinical conversation for those nurses that are in Cannabis Nurse Health Coach program, they'll get a continuing education credit unit for this course that Katie just taught. CBD and product development training, networking into industry opportunities, rewarding and meaningful work for nurses by creating patient-centered for total health care. And so promotional code, because it is Nurses Week and we're very, very excited, we have Nurse50 for 50% off of all programs through May 10th. And then if you happen to catch this at a later time and you miss that deadline, we still have another coupon code, Nurse25, for 25% off through the end of the month. So that's the Cannabis Nurse Health Coach program. We also have a lot of other programs, symptom-targeted programs, CBD for wellness, cannabis for moms, etc. So please explore and enjoy our library and suite of educational opportunities. And here they are right here. So there they are. This is a list of all of our different programs for different continuing education credit units. So these programs are for clinicians, they're for nurses, and they're also for patients that want to learn about cannabis as medicine. So one of our quotes is, people are making great medicines, people are selling these amazing cannabis formulations, yet no one is truly interpreting how to use cannabis as medicine. And that is what we do. So this is a link to holisticcaring.com. So if you're watching this on a computer and you have your phone, you can hold it up and go right into the shop and see the different courses that we have to offer. And then finally, we have a very new learning library, which I love. Right on holisticcaring.com, if you go to the learning library, we have conditions, We have on the endocannabinoid system, terpenes, botanicals, and a new section, cannabinoids, all built out at holisticcaring.com, which is free learning for you all. And also our network. So if you're new and you're new and you're watching this and you're kind of scared and nervous, you can join our free network. So Holistic Caring Network is for ongoing connections for patients and providers, and it's free. It's run by nurses and our pharmacist for CBD education and lifestyle support. So we have this structure and this framework where we have a free introductory to cannabis course, free patient portal to connect and chat with peers. There's a free 7-page medical cannabis guide, free monthly clinical conversations, webinars, and podcasts. And then this is in our network is where we host and house all of our different programs for continuing education. And it's also where we have our mastermind for live mentoring and training. Very, very exciting. And then as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the love of cannabis. Katie, this has been an amazing presentation. Meant for Chaos. I wish I had Meant for Chaos when I was new to cannabis as medicine, because truly, as you said, it is much more than just cannabis or hemp. It's all of the other activities that you need to do in incorporation with the hemp that is going to heal you. It's not just one thing. It's a multimodal approach. And Meant for Chaos offers that. So for anyone else that is new out there, do you have any other words of wisdom for people that are new, that are exploring the education or exploring the products?
Just be open and know that there is so much hope out there for you. And there are people in the holistic space who are here to help support you and answer your questions. And don't try to do it alone. Okay. It takes a village for all of us to get through the day and the weeks. It takes a village, and we will be your village.
We will. So remember, everyone, what it's all about. It is truly all about living your best life and helping others do the same. Katie McCarthy, Meant for Chaos, cannabis nurse health coach, Reiki master. Thank you so much for joining us and leading this amazing clinical conversations. And we're going to end with one of my favorite videos. And we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing a special live with Jessa Grace and Heartfelt AI, and how to build a heartfelt business, and why and how we built our business based on our hearts. All right.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And you know, the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a 4-stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name, and she called me, and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses group, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.